Hi! It has been requested that I do a tutorial on how I make my envelopes for my cards that are too thick to fit in a regular flat envelope. So it's really easy. You don't have to measure. You don't even have to think. So you need a scoring board, a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, and you also want to make a template for your card that's going to be the same size as your card base. Or you can use your card, but I prefer using another piece of cardstock. So what you do is you determine how thick is your card. So let's pretend this is my card and it's half an inch thick. So what I do is I trace a pencil line in the middle of my cardstock, which is of course at 6 inches, like that. And I also trace a line in the center of my card. And then when I place a card here, my side flaps are going to be the same size and I didn't have to measure them. Also, I want to trace lines here and here as close as possible to the card. And where you will place your card will depend on what size you want your top flap and your bottom flap of your envelope. In my case, I want my top to be slightly smaller than my bottom, so I just eyeball it. I just check, and when it looks okay, I just place my card and I trace my lines. Those lines are just gonna act as guides. So what you want to do basically is score on each side of your card in a tic-tac-toe manner. So in order to do that, because I'm not measuring, I'm just gonna place my card here at the top and I'm gonna score all the way to the bottom. I'm gonna choose the closest scoring spot I can find, the closest to my card, and I'm gonna score all the way down. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, all the way down. And because my card is half an inch thick, I'm gonna score a second line half an inch in distance from the first one I did. So I'm gonna score and then I go half an inch and I score all the way down. I do the same thing on the other side. I scored and I'm gonna go half an inch and I'm gonna score again. Then I'm gonna turn my cardstock and I'm gonna do the same thing. I just place my card here. You don't have to do it because you have your lines, but here it is. So I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna find the closest scoring line I can to the card and I'm gonna score. I'm gonna go half an inch from that first line. I'm gonna score again. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Score the closest spot you can find and one half an inch apart of this first scoring line and score all the way to the bottom. Once you did that, you have something that looks like this. So you can see kind of the double tic-tac-toe design pattern here. And I marked with a pencil where you want to cut. So this is your top, your bottom, your sides. You're gonna cut this square or rectangle, this one, and also on the bottom you're gonna do the same thing, except you're gonna avoid this little square here. You're gonna leave it there, as well as on the other side. So once you cut, it looks like this. And this little square, you will also want to cut it here so it's able to move. So when you assemble your card, the little square will be tucked inside and it will create a nice finish in your bottom corners. No holes, perfect. Also, what I did is I just cut this at an angle because obviously it was going up uh, to the top here, and it was ugly. So you can do it whatever you want. You can leave it as is, you can just trim it, cut it at an angle, it doesn't matter. You can also decide that you want this a little smaller, so you just adjust it. So in my case here, I think it's a little big because like I said, I'm eyeballing it, but I can always come back and trim it a little because I have um, some extra here I can trim. So that's it. That's how I do it. It's really easy. It's perfect every time. And you just decide how thick your card is, and you score the second line at the distance of the thickness of your card. So after that, you decide you can customize it how you want. And just to assemble it, I just put here and here some red sticky tape, and I just close it like that. And for the top flap, what I do is I usually just take a border punch. I punch the side here, and I just leave it like that. And to close it, what I do is I just take a piece of ribbon and wrap it around, and I stamp here a little some kind of a frame image, and I emboss it to be able to write the name of the person who will receive the card. So you can do whatever you want with it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it was easy to follow. I think so, because it's really, really, really easy. And hope you try it out. Thanks for watching. Bye.